Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Eric from Nubia Tech. I had a special package delivered this morning and I have it right here on my table waiting to be unboxed. You guessed it guys, I have another unboxing video for you. This is the latest phone from Nubia, the Nubia Red Magic 5G. So what are we waiting for? Let's get this box open. This time around was lucky to get the limited transparent edition, and we have the usual flat wide box similar to last year's Red Magic 3S. And if you've opened a Red Magic phone recently, then it's arranged in pretty much the same layout. So let's open it up. Okay, so there's the phone. So let's put the phone aside for now. And let's see what else is in the box. So you've got a couple of compartments here. So you've got the big one. It's pretty much labeled. So here's probably the documents. And here you've got the charging cable. And looks like this is the charging brick. So let's see what is inside this big box. Okay, you've got the SIM ejector pin. And a couple of documents, guides. Was half expecting a free case to come in here, so it looks like the box could fit a free case, but tough luck, doesn't seem to come with one. So let's put everything back. Box on the lower right has the charging brick, so let's pull it out and see how we can open it. Since this is the limited transparent edition, it comes with a 55-watt charging brick out of the box. So if you go for any of the other color variants, you only get an 18-watt charger. Nubia claims that you can go from 0 to 100 in just 40 minutes with this 55-watt charger. Can't wait to test that out, guys. And lastly, you've got the charging cable. So let's open it up. Okay, so it's a USB-C to USB-C charging cable. Pleasant surprise here is that they decided to include an elbow design USB-C cable here. So it'll make it easier to game more comfortably when you're actually charging and playing while using the phone. This actually makes it easier, so you don't have to, so let's say this is the phone, got it here, so it's not going to get in the way when you're actually playing and charging at the same time. The Red Magic 5G does come in a couple of variants. We've got the 8GB and 128GB of storage coming in at around 28,000 pesos, so that's roughly converted to $580 US. Then we've got the 12GB of RAM and 128GB of storage for 30,000 pesos, which comes around to $600 US. You got the 12256, which comes in at 32,000, and that is around $650 US. The transparent edition is a bit more pricey, comes in at 37,000 Philippine pesos, and that's roughly converted to around $740. Though for what you're getting is still a lot cheaper than the other Snapdragon 865 phones, namely the S20 Plus and the S20 Ultra. So let's go ahead and discuss the build and design. The Red Magic 5G is slightly shorter than the Red Magic 3S of last year, which I've got right here. It is just a tad bit shorter than last year's design, though this year Nubia decided to switch to a glass back instead of the metal back from last year's phone. It does look a lot better being glass, but glass is glass and glass will break, so it is a lot more fragile than last year's phone, which has a metal back. So even if I drop it on its back, since it's metal, then it shouldn't be cracking, but this is glass, so it will definitely break. Now with this transparent edition, you can actually see in the internals, but to be honest, they're not the real internals of the phone. They're just stickers placed on where the internals are supposed to be. One real thing here is the fan. If I turn on the game space by the toggle at the top, you can see the fan actually turn on. So let's zoom in a bit and see if you can see it turn on. So if I turn on game space, the fan should turn on. And if I turn it off, the fan should turn off. Pretty cool, guys. So let's talk more about the build and design. So on the right side, you've got the volume rockers, the volume up, volume down, and the power button. And you still have the very useful shoulder capacitive buttons, which you can program to use in games like PUBG or COD, or any other games that you'd want to use it for. On the left side, we've got a connector for accessories we'll probably never use, like the Magic adapter, where it lets you connect a wired 3.5mm headphone, a LAN cable, and charge your phone all at the same time. Cool concept, but I don't see myself gaming while connected to a LAN. Kind of defeats the purpose of having a mobile phone because you're not going to be very mobile when you're connected to a LAN cable. Speaking of accessories, there's also an esports case where you can connect or attach the Bluetooth controller. I still have last year's Bluetooth controller I bought for the Red Magic 3S. Let me try it out and see if I can pair it with the Red Magic 5G, so at least I don't have to purchase another pair. Hang on guys. Alright, it sees it. Let's see if I can connect it. Seems to be working just fine. So the controller for the Red Magic 3S still works for the Red Magic 5G. Good to know. Okay, let's just turn that off for now and discuss the rest of the phone. On the bottom, you've got the USB-C charging port, the bottom firing speaker, and you've got the SIM tray. Up top, you've got the headphone jack. So headphone jack lovers rejoice, you've still got the wired headphone option here. At the back, the design still screams gaming because you've got an X pattern, you got the Red Magic 5G over there, including 5G down there, and you've got the Nubia logo. Of course, this is RGB. Let's try to turn on game space and see if you can see the RGB lighting. Okay, it's lighting up whenever you've got the game space turned on. There should be an option to change the color that you want. I'll have to dig around on the settings for that. So as I mentioned before, there are other color combinations that you can get for the phone. You've got the Eclipse Black, the Hot Rod Red, kind of looks like an Iron Man inspired theme, and of course you've got the color variant called Pulse, which is a blend of a metallic red and metallic blue. Let's discuss the display now. No other phone on the market right now has a higher refresh rate than the Red Magic 5G, which is 144 Hz. Last year's Red Magic only topped out at 90 Hz, though to be honest, it'll be hard to see the difference between 90 and 144. It's not such a noticeable difference like what you'd see when you jump from a 60 Hz panel to a 90 or 120 Hz panel. The screen on the 5G remains the same size to the 3S, sitting at a pretty large 6.65 inches. It's still an AMOLED display, though the display only tops out at a resolution of 1080 by 2340 or Full HD+. It has a 388 ppi density, but you still do notice a top and bottom bezel, so there's no notch here guys. Another feature the Red Magic 5G boasts is the 240 Hz touch sampling rate, which basically means your touch will be picked up in 2 milliseconds, so it's very good for gaming. The max brightness is also pretty decent, topping out at 600 nits. Now to discuss the performance. At the heart of this gaming phone is the Snapdragon 865. The transparent edition comes with 12GB of LPDDR5 RAM and 256GB of UFS 3.0 storage. There's also an 8128 version, but in the other color configurations. The transparent or limited edition only comes in this variant. What sets this phone apart though is the built-in fan. The cooling system on this beast includes a liquid cooling pipe, graphite pads, thermal conductive copper foil, and thermal gel. What all this means is that you'll be able to game at max performance for a longer span of time, so you won't have the phone dialing down your performance due to excessive heat. All of these components though make this a pretty thick phone. Of course, the manufacturer had to make room for all that cooling technology. The fans on this year's model is rated at 15,000 RPM, so that's pretty fast. And what that means is you're gonna get better cooling, but you're going to have a louder fan. So that should be negated if you're playing with earphones via the headphone jack, which the phone still has. The Red Magic 5G this year now has an under-display fingerprint scanner. Never like the rear-mounted scanner on last year's model. That shape is not really meant for your finger. I really had a hard time with that one guys. But this year, you've got an under-display fingerprint scanner. Not too bad, but getting a lot of misses every now and then. I'm hoping that a software update will fix it, but knowing Nubia's track record with software updates, I'm not going to hold my breath for that one guys. Next, let's discuss the cameras. The Red Magic 5G seems to have paid more attention to photography this year. The phone has a triple camera setup, so you've got a 64 megapixel Sony IMX686 primary lens, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel macro. Last year's model only had the Sony IMX586, so it's not a very versatile camera system. There's not much you can do with it, and photos look good in direct sunlight, but other than that, it's nothing to write home about. The selfie shooter on the other hand is an 8 megapixel wide camera. I'll see how the phone fares in a separate camera comparison video, so stay tuned for that guys. I'm really interested to see how this triple camera setup compares with other flagship phones. Next is the battery. One downgrade though on this year's model is the battery capacity. The Red Magic 3S has a beefy 5000 mAh battery, while this year's model is 500 mAh less at just 4500 mAh. Though you do get faster charging available for the Red Magic 5G, but personally, I'd rather have a larger battery any day. Let's talk about the OS next on the phone. So, the Red Magic 5G uses a Red Magic OS version 3.0. The OS is almost stock Android, but one complaint here is that you can't use another launcher on the phone. You're stuck with whatever you've got. So those who want to use a different launcher, you're out of luck on this one guys. And as usual, no phone unboxing of mine will be complete without my speaker test. Okay, I've loaded up my usual NCS test guys. Let's start it up. Very impressed with that volume guys. It's a lot louder than last year's Red Magic 3S, almost comparable to the ROG2 phone, which I've got sitting right there. So let's do a quick comparison with that. Let's load up that same NCS music. Let's start it up. Guys, can't really decide whether the ROG2 phone sounds better than the Red Magic 5G. Let me know in the comment section down below which phone you think has the best audio. So before we end this video here guys, let's try to answer one key question. Should I buy the Red Magic 5G? If you want the latest Snapdragon 865 at a more reasonable price, then this phone is a good option. It's cheaper than the S20 Ultra and the S20 Plus as well as the OnePlus 8 Pro. But if you own the ROG2 phone, the Black Shark 2 Pro, or even the Red Magic 3S, there's not much of a reason to upgrade to this. 5G connectivity is not at a place where it's going to be widely available yet, so it's not a compelling enough reason for you to get this phone. One complaint I do have with Nubia phones, especially the Red Magic 3S, is that they have a terrible track record for software updates. My Red Magic 3S is still stuck on Android 9, and it really isn't sustainable for most people to upgrade phones just to get the next version of Android. So Red Magic 3S, Android 9, Red Magic 5G, Android 10. So if I want an Android 11 phone, do I have to wait for the Red Magic 6? I don't think most people will have the budget to do that. So I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below. One thing I forgot to mention is that the Chinese ROM is actually more feature packed, or is more fleshed out than the global ROM. Because I flashed my Red Magic 3S to a global ROM, and I do miss out a lot of the features that I had in the Chinese ROM. They had the system-wide dark mode, and you've got a better gesture. One thing though that Nubia has going for it is that they actually allow you to change the ROMs on their phones. If you've got a Chinese version of the phone, they upload the global ROM files as well as the steps to do it on their own website. So I'll be doing a separate video showing you how to do that. So if you've gotten your hands on the Red Magic 5G and it's stuck on the Chinese ROM, stay tuned for my video to change that to a global ROM. Alright, so with that said, let me know if this is one piece of tech that you want to get. Until then, we'll end this quick video here guys. As usual, like and subscribe, hit that bell icon notification, and see you all in my next one.